Allegations of sex abuse against civil rights icon Cesar Chavez, including from the woman at his side for decades. The North Texas city's changing plans for events that honor him. A deadly crash on I-20. Police say someone under the influence hit and killed a tow truck driver.
Stop! Stop!
An officer seen pulling a woman from her car during a traffic stop in Hurst. What the police department and the woman's attorney say as we break down the video. And a plane is badly damaged in an emergency landing at a North Texas airport.
Record high temps. It's going to feel like July this weekend. My 14-day forecast coming up.
Plus, how the head coach of one of Dallas's newest pro teams is paving the way for the next generation.
Mom's a coach, and mom's in sport. It's not dad's in sport. It's not dad's coaching. It's mom's coaching.
Tonight, allegations of sex abuse involving civil rights leader Cesar Chavez leading to calls for major changes across the state. Events to honor Chavez, normally celebrated on his birthday, March 31st, are now in limbo in Texas and throughout the U.S. And tonight, other changes are being proposed in Dallas. Here's Kevin Reese.
In 1969, Cesar Chavez was in Fort Worth. A farm worker strike against grape producers was still underway.
It happened to us in Texas when we were striking in the Rio Grande Valley.
And by his side in that fight was Dolores Huerta. Si se puede, yes, it is possible, the rallying cry credited to her. Her outcry now is this one. I've never identified myself as a victim, but now I understand that I am a survivor of violence, of sexual abuse, of domineering men who saw me and other women as property or things to control. The farm worker rights icon, now in her 90s, says Chavez sexually assaulted her twice. 2 pregnancies resulted. She had the children raised by other families. She went public Wednesday after the New York Times reported allegations that young girls were victimized too.
I want to thank Dolores Huerta for her strength and courage to be a voice for other survivors out there.
Adam Bazaldua and 5 other Dallas City Council members wrote a letter to the mayor asking that Cesar Chavez Day no longer be honored in Dallas and that they consider removing his name from downtown streets.
But we need to do so thoughtfully in a way that can uplift the movement of labor, migrant workers, and the Latino community as a whole.
It's been hard to absorb this.
In California, the governor says Dolores Huerta is a family friend, but says next steps will be difficult in a state where Chavez's burial site is a national monument and where statues of him stand in multiple cities.
We're just going to have to reflect on all of that and, reflect on a farm workers movement and a labor movement that was much bigger than one man.
In a statement, the Cesar Chavez Foundation writes, "We are deeply shocked and saddened by what we are hearing, and that they're working to support the people who may have been harmed by his actions and ensure we are united and guided by our commitment to justice and community empowerment." Dolores Huerta says she didn't go public until now because she didn't want to harm the farm worker rights movement. Workers' rights groups that bear his name burdened with navigating that struggle now. In Dallas, I'm Kevin Reese.
As calls to remove Chavez's name from streets and buildings continue, a statue honoring Chavez is now covered in a black tarp in Fresno, California. We have reached out about schools and streets named after Chavez across North Texas as long as Cesar Chavez days, and we are waiting to hear back. We are following breaking news in the war with Iran tonight. Airstrikes are intensifying across the Middle East right now. Iran is retaliating after an Israeli attack on its gas fields with a barrage of missiles. A huge explosion in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, was posted on social media. Saudi Arabia's foreign minister offered harsh criticism of Iran, saying what little trust there was before has completely been shattered. Iran also struck the world's largest liquefied natural gas terminal in Qatar. And in just the last hour, President Donald Trump threatened to blow up Iran's South Pars gas field if it attacks Qatar again. That is the world's largest gas field. Tonight, a tow truck driver has died after being hit by a car while stopped on the side of an interstate. It happened on westbound I-20 at spur 408 in Dallas County just after 4 o'clock this afternoon. The Dallas County Sheriff's Office says the tow truck driver was outside of his vehicle. Deputies did arrest the driver who hit him for intoxication manslaughter. A pilot was taken to a hospital after a small plane went down at Arrow Valley Airport in Roanoke in Denton County. First responders say the single-engine plane was off the runway and upside down When they flipped it over, you could see a badly damaged nose of that plane. The pilot was the only person on board. We do not have an update on their condition tonight. The company tasked with keeping North Texas children safe is accused of doing such a bad job, a judge just put a new boss in charge. The state says systemic failures put kids in danger, and some have died. Cole Sullivan explains how we got here.
Community-based care still focuses on safety.
George Cannata has a lot of work ahead. A judge just named him temporary boss of Empower, the group Texas pays to oversee the welfare of thousands of foster kids. And according to the state, it's failing at its job. A judge agrees conditions at Empower present imminent danger to North Texas children. The state alleges 2 infants have died because it dropped the ball.
Those types of things lead me and other reasonable people to say, what's going on?
The state blames high turnover and heavy caseloads. Whistleblowers have previously told our Morgan Young of problems including kids sleeping on the floor of Empower offices.
There's not food in the office, so the kids doesn't have food. They don't have beds. Most of them are laying around on the floor.
Now Empower has agreed to allow Cannata to take over for at least the next 90 days. The longtime DFPS executive brings 3 decades of child welfare experience, the state says, adding the goal of the receivership is to stabilize operations and ensure that children and families receive safe and consistent services without interruption. Empower says it's ready to work with them. Quote, throughout this process, we will continue to prioritize child safety, strong case practice, and system stability to best serve Texas children and families. The state leaders who push the law allowing for this kind of takeover say it's a needed step.
We just need to see exactly what occurred and make sure we put up safeguards to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
In Dallas, I'm Cole Sullivan.
From mortgage rates to credit card debt, many Americans are feeling the strain, and we may not see any relief for quite some time. Today, the Federal Reserve decided to keep the interest rate at 3.5% to 3.75%. That sent stocks falling, the Dow losing 768 points. The Fed's decision follows news that inflation came in at 2.8% in February. Oil prices and gas prices continue to climb. Jet fuel is almost doubling in price. Delta and United say it has cost each of them $400 million since the start of the war with Iran. United's ticket prices have gone up 15 to 20% in the last week. The Fed's decision also means credit card interest rates will remain high. A new survey finds 40% of U.S. adults cannot afford to pay off their monthly credit card bills. As we head into the last weekend of spring break for many of you, Six Flags is reminding everybody anyone 17 or younger needs a chaperone at all times from open to close. That chaperone must be 21 or older and stay with the juvenile the entire time. Six Flags says offenders could be removed from the park. New tonight, at least one Islamic school has been approved by the state comptroller's office to receive school vouchers. This comes after a federal judge ordered the state to extend the application deadline after a lawsuit claimed religious discrimination against Islamic schools. The Texas Education Freedom Account's website now shows Excellence Academy in McKinney on its schools list. The new deadline for parents to apply for a voucher is March 31st. We saw the Dallas Mavericks here on WFAA tonight from the AAC, but Mavericks CEO Rick Welts says the team is forging ahead with plans for a new arena. Welts told the Dallas Morning News' Intersections podcast the Mavs are weighing the old Valley View Mall site and the area surrounding Dallas City Hall if the city makes a move. He says discussions on a land deal have not yet started. Welts says he wants a team with Dallas on their uniform to play in Dallas. It is Women's History Month, and North Texas's newest professional sports team is making history on the court. The Dallas Pulse just started play in Major League Volleyball this year. In an exclusive interview, head coach Shannon Windsor told WFAA what it means to be a woman in sports, balancing family life and breaking barriers one match at a time.
If you talk to my kids, like my sons and my daughter, they would talk to you about like, mom's a coach, and mom's in sport. It's not dad's in sport. It's not dad's coaching. It's mom's coaching. And they want to talk about their sports. They come to mom. They don't come to dad. So our our dynamic's different, and I think that's cool too. We still do it. We still think women should act in a certain way and they should act a certain way, and I hate that. I really hate that. So if I ever get the opportunity to talk about, being different and just being different to what's expected of me, I think that's really important.
Now, we also spoke with Pulse players. You can watch the full She Got Game interview on demand on WFA+. That is our streaming app, and it is free to download to your TV.